The heat of the desert is matched only by the warmth of the welcome to a record number of visitors here in the crossroads of the globe at Dubai World Central and the world's fastest growing airshow. This is the Dubai Airshow. It has all the glitz and glamour you might expect. Where else do you find robo-vans operating as police cars, gold-painted military aircraft, watches made from previously loved A380s? And forget burgers and fries, here you can get fresh local Dibber oysters for a showground snack. But the 150,000 visitors, it's also about the deals to be done, with vendors and procurement teams from all over the world. With most of the world's most glamorous airlines based within an hour's flight from here, it was no surprise that they were flocking to place orders. Emirates chairman Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Maktoum gave Boeing an opening day vote of confidence with an estimated $38 billion order for 65 777-9s, while the group's hybrid carrier, Fly Dubai, broke with the traditions of being an all-Boeing fleet and ordered a massive 150 A321neos from Airbus, and followed this up with 75 of the 737 MAXes, with options for 75 more. The Emirates deal prompted speculation that the carrier is adding to the pressure to invest in stretching the wide-bodies. I asked Aviation Week's senior editor, Guy Norris, just why.
Sir Tim Clark, the president of Emirates, has made it abundantly clear to both Airbus and Boeing that he wants something big, and he needs something to replace this, the A380 behind me. The two options he's really got are a stretch of the A350-1000 and the 777-9. Now, Boeing has said that the 777-9 could be stretched. It's looking at it as a feasibility study at least. But the main problem is there's a big gap in terms of the seating. For the A350-1000, that's potentially limited by the power of the Rolls-Royce XWB-97 engine. So there's no doubting the fact that the market in general out here is going gangbusters. Everybody needs capacity. So with 1,400 wide bodies needed in this region over the next 20 years, it's just a question of who's going to step up and with what and when. Who's going to take that gamble on the next big twin jet?
Meanwhile, Gulf Air signed for additional Dreamliners, while Etihad announced a 10-aircraft deal for 3 A350F freighters and 7 A350-1000 wide-bodies. The most unusual order for an airline was by the startup Riyadh Air, due to start passenger flights next month, who confirmed their first helicopter deal with Saudi's THC. Branded in the airline's iconic livery, it will ferry VIP passengers above the crowded Riyadh roads to the Saudi capital's airport. Now, in the air there were spectacular daily flying displays led in by the UAE's display team Al Fursem, flying their new Chinese L-15 aircraft, proving the true global nature of the show. Now, India impressed with Ashura Kiran team with their Hawk Mk2s, while Russia added to the excitement with a debut of the Su-57. The special interest from the local industry focused on the Airbus A400M, as talks are afoot to bring major structure and manufacturing to Abu Dhabi, but probably only if there's an order for the aircraft. The biggest defence news for the region came from 7,000 miles away in Washington. I asked Aviation Week's defence editor Steve Trimble to explain the importance of that announcement.
So the announcement on November 17th by President Trump that he will approve the sale of F-35s to Saudi Arabia swept over this show like a sandstorm. In a single stroke, the idea of F-35s coming to the Saudi Arabian Air Force rebalances the power, the military power in the Gulf region in Saudi Arabia's favor, perhaps at the expense of other countries. Now, Congress still has to approve the sale, and then we have to see where this goes from here. The F-35 has been in this position before in the Gulf region. 6 years ago, President Trump in his first term also approved the sale of 50 F-35As to the UAE, only to see that deal fall through over the next couple of years. So watch this space. If history is any guide, nothing is settled until that first F-35 arrives on Saudi soil. Perhaps in a signal that the Emirates is starting to look elsewhere, we saw Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of the UAE, visit the Su-57 on static display here at the show and get an in-depth and in-person tour and explanation of its capabilities by the Russian defense industry.
Well, with all the orders and activities, no wonder there's a lot of interest from the aviation services and the MROs at the show. GE Aerospace revealed a $50 million investment in a new on-wing support centre at Dubai South, which will support both the LEAP ramp-up and the GE9X entry into service.
So the investment that we've announced this week, and we've broken ground on the new facility, enables us to support our customers in the region for the long term, both continuing the LEAP ramp and also positioning longer term for 9X support as the 777X aircraft comes into service.
Sustainability in the air and on the ground was a theme throughout the show, with Dubai World Central's Al Maktoum Airport aiming at becoming the world's biggest airport, handling 248 million passengers a year with new sustainable technologies and ways to smooth the passage through the airports. These are already being tested and shown at the airshow.
Both inside and outside, airports are redefining the experience with smart, sustainable solutions. From biometrics to electric GSE, airports are putting this infrastructure into place now, and nowhere is that more visible than here at King Salman Airport in Riyadh, which is coming online in 2030.
But the biggest change and focus at the event has been in the advanced air mobility sector, where the eVTOL air taxis and cargo carriers descended, and Joby became the first to be fully integrated at an international air show flying display.
It seems like the advanced air mobility market really is at an inflection point. For years, I think the question for a lot of people was, will the technology work? I think that's starting to be put behind by the companies. Now the question is, what is the best business case for this industry? And in typical Dubai style, East really meets West, also in the AAM sector. We've had vehicles here on display from the US, from Europe, from China, from Japan, and elsewhere. It's so typical for this show. And the vehicle I'm sitting in was designed here in the UAE, next door in Abu Dhabi, and it just recently began flight testing. And LOT, the manufacturer, is hoping to have it certified in just a few years.
So as the crowds disperse at this, the end of the most successful ever Dubai Airshow, we say goodbye and thank you to GE Aerospace for having supported this venture. Don't forget, you can get all the news from the show, all the pictures and all the videos at aviationweek.com.
At GE Aerospace, we turn what ifs into what's next. Because when the right idea catches the wind, there's no limit to how far the next generation will go.